What's going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into this. Matthian, this one's for you. We got more in the Dungeons and Dragons story because, yes, well, the main rub of what's going on is it's been entirely captured by the activists and the people that think that everything that happened before them either didn't exist or is all racist and sexist. And so we've seen Gary Gygax and basically all of the original creators from Dungeons and Dragons get slandered and lied about. Elon Musk, of course, saying the Wizards of the Coast, telling them to burn in hell over it. And then we had Kuntz, of course, Robert J. Kuntz come out. He was also one of the original creators, come out and just talk about what a disgusting ride it is. This was all when they were talking about the making of the original and the horrible comments that were said about them in it. Basically, they pulled the Rachel Zegler Wizards of the Coast and tried to slander the original creators. And they are continuing to do things like that. We've, of course, seen them race swapping orcs into some sort of weird Mexican version. And now in a new book that is licensed, a new licensed book here, we've got, well, let's just get into this. So the new licensed book here, it's Forge of Foes by Sky Flourish, and they have to talk to you about anti-colonialism. So of course we saw the switching of the orcs, of course, into some sort of Mexican thing going over here. Gordita Abuelita up there on the rocks. And they've got some rules now that specifically have to do when using monster characters in your games. And so this right here, this is the Lazy DM's Forge of Foes licensed book, tools and guides to build, customize, and run fantastic monsters in your Dungeons and Dragons game. So Grum's here pointing out some of the fun things. Do you like lectures in your D&D supplements? Forge of Foes, a 5e book by Sly Flourish, includes lengthy sections on anti-colonialism, excuse me, that it says is the greatest evil DMs must learn to deal with, and that dealing with it will make the game better. Tips include not all gnolls. Say gnoll bandits are attacking, not gnolls are attacking, because we wouldn't want the entire species to be blamed. Focus on villainy as a choice, not as a trait. Guess we can't have evil monsters anymore. It was just their socioeconomic circumstances. No heroes. Your players aren't saving anyone. That would make them seem weak. Use reliable sources for cultural inspirations and try to see things from the mind flayer's perspective. Apparently, why is tabletop absolutely infused with these useless and insulting sermons that don't belong in rule books? And yeah, you can see here's one of those. Forge of Foes, great book, and I particularly like this section on anti-colonial play, which is written very thoughtfully and carefully. It won't, but it would be awesome if the 2025 Monster Manual addressed the first point. Use ancestries as adjectives, rather to avoid forcing narrow morality onto sapient creatures. Yeah, focus on villainy as a choice, not a biological or cultural imperative. Avoid the trap of perceiving civilization from a single point of view. Yeah, absolute cringe. Here's their anti-colonial problem. Oh my God. Colonialism, the short version. Colonialism is a topic far too broad to be properly summed up in this or any other short treaty, but in a nutshell, the history of our modern age has been defined by a specific group of people, white men, laying claim to the entire world over centuries of exploration and not caring that the rest of the world had other peoples living in them at the time. The history of they wouldn't be able to write this without colonialism. The history of colonialism is a history of conflict and warfare, of groups clash. Yeah, you get the idea. At its heart, every fantasy role-playing game tells a story. Our stories take place in specific worlds and often explore a lot of the negative aspects of those worlds in the course of the showing off the best parts. All heroes need evil to fight against after all, but colonialism needs to be treated differently than many of the other negative aspects of our game narratives, because the harm of unexamined colonialism can hurt players and the people near them in very real ways. We got to stop giving these people money. A checklist for better stories. Here's the checklist they have to Oh, because we don't want othering to happen. So avoid monolithic ancestry cultures. All elves, dwarves are the same in favor of broader cultural worldview. Use ancestry. Have we seen that? Use ancestries as adjectives. Avoid the trap of perceiving civilization from a single viewpoint. Understand and move away from the trope of heroic characters as the saviors of lesser folk. Make use of cultural inspirations from reliable sources with the aim of centering other cultures and perspectives from a position of respect. Yeah. And this is why no one plays these new versions. This is why they play older versions or they don't play it at all, because holy hell, either way, not looking great on the Dungeons and Dragons front, at least not in the tabletop. You got to get those people out over at Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. Either way, let me know what you think about all this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.